Hello, welcome back to the channel. Would you believe I already shot this video? But then I went back and I was reviewing the footage and I started editing and I realized what I had was not good. So here we are again. So this is my greenhouse. It is from a manufacturer called BC Greenhouses. If you've been following the channel along, you saw that I got it last year. Started, I think it was late February, built it in February/March. Got it done, and I didn't get that much use out of it during the spring because by the time I finished it, the spring had come and gone. Over the course of the year, I've turned around and I've built benches on the inside, and it was only this winter that I really could start using it, this past fall/winter. And now, of course, into the spring. And now, if you look, there's a lot going on. I have a lot of trays, a lot of plants, etc. inside the greenhouse that I'm starting seeds in now. I'm overwintering plants inside that don't like the frosts or the freezes. The greenhouse held up very well during that Christmas time Arctic blast that we had. I have a passive heating system in there just made up of milk jugs filled with water, old water bottles filled with, water, spray painted black, and I guess, retained enough heat. Anything that was inside the greenhouse during that Arctic freeze, it just kept it just enough that nothing was really damaged, which was great. So let me talk about some of the features of my greenhouse real quick, and then I will talk about things that I would maybe look at to change if I were to do this all over again. The greenhouse is made out of all aluminum. I don't have to worry about it rusting or rotting. If I had a wood greenhouse here, it would obviously start to rot with the heat and humidity that I have here in growing zone A to A. The door has a vent on the bottom. My only guess is that would allow cool air in and then it would escape out through the upper vents. But I almost wish that the top pane was able to move as well, again, for ventilation and letting hot air escape. But again, there is a door. The door handle is lockable if I so choose and wish, which I do not. I have two roof vents. The roof vents have hand cranks. That was an option that I chose to have. And because I'm in growing zone 8A and we are in hurricane territory, I just felt that it would be more beneficial for me to hand crank those vents closed when I needed to or when I felt it was necessary. I have a side vent which opens with a wax heat piston there. So obviously when it gets warmer out, the window opens up. I also turned around and got extra support for the greenhouse to withstand winds up to 110 miles per hour. It was an option and a feature that BC Greenhouse offers. Just basically consists of extra support members that go inside the greenhouse and on the roof, again, just to help it withstand extra wind. And they don't guarantee that it'll withstand up to 110. That's what they offered. And again, being in hurricane territory, that's what I took. My greenhouse is also on a cement slab. This was, again, an option that I decided on because the greenhouse is 8 feet by 12 feet. I could have turned around and put it on timbers that was on compacted ground or something along those lines. But we get a lot of heavy rain down here, and I was worried about the ground underneath the greenhouse shifting or settling, or the greenhouse itself sinking into the mud when we get those ridiculously heavy rains. So again, cement slab, and that was an option that I chose to do. So putting it together was relatively simple. The instructions were fairly good. I had a couple issues with that, but any issues that you do have, you call support, and BC Greenhouse had excellent support. I will have to say that some of the pieces I got with my build were either wrong or incomplete. So again, I reached out to support at BC Greenhouses and they were fantastic. They shipped me at no cost to me the extra pieces or the missing pieces that I needed. And again, fantastic support. Construction quality was good. Again, everything was pretty much covered in the instructions themselves. And if there were any construction issues at the end, for instance, my door sticks. That's actually on me. So when you're building your greenhouse, it is recommended in the instructions to have a level. And unfortunately, I didn't quite triple check my levels on the door frame. So when I finally put everything together, by the time I put the door on, or the door frame into the structure, the glass was already on. Once your glass is on, that's it. It ain't going nowhere unless you take all the glass off and then redo the whole thing, and nobody's doing that. Again, that's on me. That's nothing to do with the manufacturer. But I was in such a rush to build the greenhouse because I was excited to have a greenhouse that I made that mistake. The door still closes, but as you can see, it does stick a little bit. So overall, I'm very happy with it, and I really have nothing necessarily bad to say about the greenhouse or the build quality of the greenhouse. Now, if I were to do this all over again and money were no object, and lessons I've learned in the year of owning a greenhouse, I would probably go with a slightly larger greenhouse. And it's not that this size isn't good. This size is actually very good for me. I enjoy having the 8x12. I think it works good in this space, and so far so good. I'm able to do everything I kind of want to do with the greenhouse. Here's the list of things I would definitely change. I would get more roof vents. Ventilation is an issue. Again, I'm in growing zone 8A, and the summer times can get really hot. And though I have no need to use the greenhouse necessarily in the summertime, I would definitely, like, for instance, today is supposed to be 72, and inside the greenhouse right now, it's roughly 100. So ventilation, more ventilation would be beneficial. So I would get more vents for the roof. I would turn around and get more vents for the sidewall. Now I only have the one vent on the sidewall. If, again, money no object, doing it all over again, I would probably get at least 2 vents on each sidewall. Again, just to allow better ventilation, which would help keep the interior a little cooler and allow a little better airflow. I would get a back door, and this would allow me to go out to my compost pile that's out right behind the greenhouse here, without me having to come out and walk around the greenhouse. So I would get, and then the added benefit of having a door in the back would also, again, increase ventilation. So what else would I change? That would probably be about it. It's just about ventilation. And again, I've never owned a greenhouse before, so my knowledge, and especially in growing zone 8A here in Eastern North Carolina, I have no clue what I'm doing here. This is an all new environment. If you've been watching this channel, you know I came from New York, Long Island, New York, and I moved down here to Eastern North Carolina, and I'm building this garden here that I have, that I'm trying to build. So owning a greenhouse is a nice greenhouse like this is really a new experience to me. But the only things I really change is just maybe slightly bigger. Oh, the other thing I would change is a additional wind load structuring. So I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, BC Greenhouses does offer extra supports that you could get, again, to strengthen your greenhouse in case of high wind loads. So I could probably get it strengthened up to maybe possibly 120 miles per hour. Don't quote me on this. You'd have to talk to the people over at BC Greenhouses. And I believe that consists of another arch or some sort of trellis system. I'm probably not using the right word, but some sort of center support, roof support structure thing on the inside of the greenhouse. I'm not an engineer, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Probably extra strengthening. And then this way, if we did get a mild to bad hurricane, theoretically or hopefully, it would withstand those wind loads. That being said, we have gotten some 60-mile-per-hour winds, and again, the structure's solid. It's not going anywhere, which is really nice. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I can say about that. If you have any questions or comments, or if you own a greenhouse, please leave all of those below. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, etc., please leave them below. This is my greenhouse. It's awesome. I'm going to continue to use this right up until about, again, May, when it just starts getting too hot outside, and not even shade cloth can keep the inside cool enough. But one of the things I will try to do this year is I will try to grow some peppers in pots inside the greenhouse during summertime. I'll probably put them on the floor. They will probably get, water at least twice a day. But from my understanding, peppers enjoy really warm, humid weather. So there you go. Not that it doesn't get warm and humid outside, but as an experiment, I'm going to try to do that. If the peppers survive and they thrive and they do well in the greenhouse, well, now that I have a plant that I can put inside the greenhouse during the summertime that, again, I can gain use of during the summertime. I was able to use the greenhouse throughout the winter. It sheltered my plants throughout the winter. I was able to grow lettuce and radish inside the greenhouse during the wintertime, which was really exciting. I was able to shelter frost-sensitive plants inside the greenhouse during the winter, which again was one of the reasons I got this greenhouse, and it's really awesome in that regard. If I can get more use out of it, all the better. So that's something I will be trying this summer. Again, any comments, thoughts, suggestions, etc., please leave them below. If you own a greenhouse and you know, hey, have thoughts, suggestions, comments, please leave them below. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.